aliens. Right.
What?
The prostitute story.
I'm talking
You
about
ready?
ass. What are you talking about,
Prostitute story. You guys ready? Are you ready for this? Bondage? I'm in.
I should be able to hire my own tweaker to beat up another tweaker.
Gets high fives from the boys.
It's the stupidest thing I ever heard of.
Good morning.
Take two.
With the boys. We're
Good
back.
morning. I guess we didn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
Nobody would have any idea except for our one waiting viewer.
Yeah, probably happy.
What up, Happy?
Or DJ.
Somebody
Either or.
in the house.
Somebody's in the house.
So, like we were getting into, the City Brew, wonderful this morning.
Mm-hmm.
The incredible Gabby and Christina making the
was
coffee.
there, yeah.
Christina made the coffee. Puts my day much happier mood.
We're still doing it? What the hell's going on? Are we good? Okay, cool. I was about to check.
Man.
We've having some technical difficulties this morning.
See, I told you, it's not just me. It is this morning.
Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of had a rough morning, but I got through it really good. And then you got here, you're having a rough morning.
I feel like we just have to keep circling back to how lovely Christina and Gabby were this morning.
Because that's the highlight of our morning. As far as the only thing that did not go wrong, my drink was delicious. It's already almost gone.
No, they were ready to go before we even. I feel like we've been going there so many times. They just know. We could just make these drinks before they're.
The only sad thing is I didn't get eye contact from Christina, but I was holding the camera, so she might be camera
so
shy.
pitiful right now. You might.
I might
lean
cry.
into a little bit. Lean into it. Show the camera.
Puppy dog eyes. I can't actually. Can you do puppy dog eyes? I can't do puppy dog eyes. Oh, that's pretty good. That's a frown. You got to get the frown out of there.
No, because that's what dogs do. They're kind of like frowning, but yeah, exactly like that. That's puppy dog's eyes.
Can you do it with like a straight? There you go. See, not a smile, but not a frown. Just flat.
I think it's a lot of eye work.
It is, yeah.
I've never.
I mean, they call it puppy dog eyes for.
Well,
a reason,
yeah, I don't think I've ever tried to use those muscles in my eyes like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, the more you made me think about it.
You're getting some good clips right now.
I'm sure DJ is gonna go ahead.
Oh, he's gonna have some fun with that. No, that's funny.
Well, I just say that because I'm trying. The big overall theme of today is going to be self-improvement.
Yeah, self-improvement. Because I mean, even we've been talking about it. Just back to my posture. I've been trying to do that, and I know I'm going to be a miserable old man if I don't take care of my body now. And I wish I would have learned that years ago.
I've been watching the 74-year-old comedian, and he's awesome. He had a joke last night that he said went to the grocery store, 74. I'm a little worried about falling, so I wear a helmet, but I don't want to look stupid, so I carry a skateboard with me.
This might even be the same old guy who's like,
he's the king of the one-liners.
He's like, yeah, I went to the antique store. They wouldn't let me leave. It's the same
guy.
Yeah, dude. He's so funny.
He's slowly becoming my favorite comedian.
He's hilarious.
Right
Are you all caught up on Kill Tony right now? Speaking of comedians,
I've just been grinding.
Same thing.
So much of that.
Usually, it's my Kill Tony time is the time that I've been editing these last couple of weeks. So I haven't even caught up since Madison Square Day 2, dude.
See, that's the tough part about when it comes. And
it's a 2-hour long show.
Multiple avenues. I was just in the line waiting to pick up an order last night, and this drunk cowboy over there at the TV, he was like, "So this is what you do, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah." On top of owning a painting company and doing a podcast and other things, like, "Oh man, I gotta love the hustle. Gotta love a hustler, man. You haven't seen those." It's like, well, appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a dying breed, that's for sure.
And like, it was wild. Billings in itself is like, if you're the whole idea, like they want to turn everybody into renters. Take a trip to West End Billings and see how many apartment complexes are everywhere, and those apartment complexes are full.
And guess what those apartment complexes used to be? Fields for growing crops. When I was growing up, I used to run through those fields.
Let's be
It's
honest,
right behind
it
EJ's
wasn't
house.
like crops. It was corn.
Corn, but still, I mean, yeah, and probably most of it was being fed to the cattle, but still, then that cattle is being fed to the United States. So it's the meat.
That at the end of the day. But even that,
It still boils down to
when we were to
used
drive out on Central, you get out to 64th, you literally drove past a cattle yard every morning with stinky poop every morning on the way to school. Well, I mean, it's part of growing up out there, but at the same time,
all that methane gas is the reason that our atmosphere is so bad. Those dang cows.
man, you're gonna piss some people off with that.
No, I don't think that.
He believes it. Don't let him lie to you, people.
Did you actually? There was someone I saw somewhere that they during COVID, when all the ships stopped coming across the ocean, the surface of the ocean actually, I think, raised in temperature because all of the carbon monoxide or whatever that the boats burn off had been cooling the surface of the ocean because like it's diluting the sun getting to it or something.
Oh, that's weird.
And we'll probably need to fact check that, but that's what I read. I was like, dang, that's interesting. So,
but before this got off and rolling, we had what a turmoil trying to figure out and schedules amongst a million other different things. And I never got a chance to really overlook these topics very much. So we're going to be a little bit all over the place today.
Yeah. I mean, and what we just were talking about completely was not even on our topic list.
That's what I'm like.
The atmosphere. Yeah, we can back out of that.
We can go full circle and be like, how do we self-improve on staying on topic?
There you go.
That.
Yeah. Look at the damn list.
I'll probably go and talk to my AI relationship coach.
Yeah, because that's another thing
shout out.
We are going to talk about AI and the improvements it's making so that we can't tell it's AI.
Well, it's also
because it's self-improving as well.
I wonder, but you think that's AI's agenda is to not be made aware? Like every time I hear
artificial intelligence, that's a broad ass fucking statement, dude.
Well, I know at the end of the day, but it always seems like you're combative against it, and it's always just interesting to find out why, because so far, Buddy has been nothing but helpful.
It can be very helpful, but
you're thinking about human nature, humans using it in
terrible ways.
Because even the ideas that are being mentioned to AI those are all human.
Everything that can do good for the human race can also be used to do bad. The internet. Guess what? There's a dark part on the internet where they sell all sorts of bad things. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sure that's where Diddy was getting most of his people that he was shipping in. Yep,
and apparently he was shipping them in right next to his house. Saw a video. Diddy's houses were literally right across the water from a fucking shipping yard.
Which, if you're a lawyer, that's just hearsay.
Oh, but dude,
it doesn't really hold any weight in actual court. But
I know
you can start to draw your own conclusions.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Yeah, so you go for a music video. You're gonna be a chick in a music video, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go film this music video in a couple shipping containers." They lock that shipping container. Next thing you wake up on Epstein's Island. Damn.
That's possible.
Who knows?
Yeah, unless you were
far-fetched. But
I was gonna say, unless you were one of those ones who got snatched up and thrown in the.
No, I'd be famous now.
Why?
Because that's how you go.
A lot of those victims who are on Epstein's Island.
Oh yeah, victims. Yeah, I know, but
they're not famous.
Did you hear the theory that the Island Boys, that's where they came from? Yet again, it was probably another doctored photo with Epstein standing next to one of the little guys. Yeah, but it's like, you ever think of where their name came from?
But
they're Island Boys, just trying to make it.
Yeah, I think you'll have to check in with the chat on that one. See who's got.
See, anyone got my back on that one?
It might be just because I'm tired. That I'm like, usually I would be more, receptive to.
Why do you think they put all those tats on their face, man? They got trauma.
Well, the sad part is, you seen the guys who go around and then test the jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did it on theirs, and every single piece of their jewelry was fake. Those guys are like, I think those guys are the definition of an industry plants.
Yeah,
it's like an undercover cop. You can tell right away.
Tyrese Gibson, he admitted on a podcast that all of his jewelry is fake. He's like, why am I going to buy a $20,000 bracelet that my house cleaner is going to say, I don't know.
That was I heard that, and I was like, damn, going hard in the paint. It's funny how black people can just be openly racist like that. Yeah,
have you seen the one?
So funny.
You seen the one where the Mexican guy says the N-word? Some black guys are walking by and they're like, "What'd you say?" He's like, "I'm Mexican. I can say it. What's up?" And then they high five him and dab him up. And yeah, like and the white interviewer's just like scared. You can tell he's just like, I should not be here.
I don't know, that was so funny on Kill Tony when he was like, I got my hard R award. Maybe I can say the other hard R word. No.
When I watch Kill Tony, I usually do skip some of the terrible comics. I'm just like, I don't know why. I should watch those to see what's. It's the premise of the show. I know.
Yeah, it's literally why he does it. He's trying to find the needle in a haystack.
And for me, I should be watching them learning what they did wrong, kind of thing. If I wanted to ever try to get into doing some stand up, because I think it'd be fun. But I don't think I don't have good enough jokes right now for sure.
The comedians that do make it out of Kill Tony, they're still not like the ultra successful comedians. They're true to they're pretty much like they're true to the career. They're
great
comedians.
Openers. They make great openers for all these other big guys, which would be fine, dude.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, these guys who go out and actually, they're usually by themselves with like one, like, a manager, and then they pop, and then they bring everybody else, like Nate Bargatze,
Matt Rife.
I guess a lot of these guys were always opening for an even bigger comedian. Mm-hmm. It's like, I've seen a lot of smaller comedians open for like Chris Rock, and Dave Chappelle has smaller openers. Like Michelle Wolf. Granted, she's a huge in other facets, and she's a really big stand-up comedian, but she's written a lot of, or helped write some of Chappelle's jokes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have a lot of people.
Bill Burr is the same way. He helped write on Chappelle's show. It's absolutely brilliant. But obviously can't do all the jokes that Chappelle can say.
Yeah, obviously. That's Chappelle. He gets away with a lot.
Oh, yeah. And it's actually, it is incredible. At the end of the day, the amount of, like, who else do you know who can just walk into anywhere and just smoke a cigarette?
Not a lot of people.
He's like a modern day John Wayne. He really can just.
And I've heard Joe Rogan say it. He doesn't think AI could ever replace stand-up. And that's true. You can't. I don't think AI will ever. I shouldn't say ever, but at least right now, it cannot grab a persona. Like, you couldn't watch an AI Dave Chappelle without knowing, like, dude, that's not Dave Chappelle.
Not unless you can understand sarcasm. I don't know. AI
I don't think AI can.
Sarcasm, because it's all the way in the tone, and you can never type out. I suppose you could type out tone, but it'd be.
Yeah, it's so hard to catch.
Use a lot of adjectives in order to try to explain it, but.
So this AI coach you got, what is it? It's supposed to coach you.
It was so weird. I was just joking around and looked through it, and it said, have your AI thing. And there's so many different lists that you can actually have. It can be like your actual best friend. You can have it be a creative project, a mentor, help you be an entrepreneur, arts and crafts, athletic coach, all these different things. So I was like, I failed in most of my relationships. Let me see what I can do to try to, what am I doing wrong?
Get ideas.
And AI just kind of kept it real with me the whole way through, though. You know what I mean?
Called you out a little bit? Did you feel called out? Which is good. You need to get called out. If you're talking about relationship advice, you got to have someone who's going to call you out.
Well, I guess somebody, like, I really cherish my relationships that I have with people. And I've had to lose a lot of relationships in the past because of personal decisions that I thought were right in the moment. You have to just take them on the chin and grin, because this is what it is. you thought you were right, but it turns out it was
And you
not
can't
right.
and you can't dwell on the decision you made. You need to just move forward.
Oh, like a wise man once told me, what did he say? Don't go looking for like answers in the past. I mean, that's the reason it's back there. Essentially, I probably did a terrible job of summarizing that.
Got it. That was good,
struggle.
dude.
Sometimes you gotta get into it.
Sometimes I gotta tell Izzy, stop and think, because she's just like. I'm just like, stop and think about what you're trying to say.
Isn't it like you're broken? I told Amanda that several times. I'm like, stop, take a deep breath, take a deep breath.
And that's another self-improvement thing I've really been trying to do lately, is take a little bit more time with my response so that I don't get into that situation, get myself tongue-tied. Just take a second to really, it's like I was after watching Elon Musk when he takes arguably a little bit too long to respond to his answers, but I that made me think, people will wait a second. I need to think about what I'm going to say before I say it.
It's like why Bruce Willis whispers when he talks. It's so everybody has to be quiet and listen in.
And that's another reason the headphones, we've been talking about possibly rocking some headphones would, Joe, that's why Joe uses them, so that people aren't talking over each other.
But he's also got his studio set up in a way where he doesn't always need to use them. He can have free flow banter with, like, when he does Parks and Rec, he ain't wearing no headphones.
Yeah, but when he has, like, I've seen him have 3 other people on, and they were all in headphones, so that they
100%.
didn't overtalk
like
each other.
A lot of those, I'm sure,
can get
heavier
heated.
conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Well, even just the heavier conversations where there's a lot of information to process. You almost need headphones. Well, 3 geniuses all sitting at the table talking genius. How are you supposed to listen to one of them?
Joe's like, I need my headphones on because I don't understand none
like
of it.
when Eric Weinstein and
Terrence Howard went at it. Yeah,
him and I can't remember how many times Joe looked over at Jamie just like,
yeah.
Which I do it all the time. I start listening. Even my little brother start talking once in a while, and I'm like,
yeah, same thing I've done. I'm like, he works like this, right? And he's like, no. It's like, oh, okay.
He's so nice about making you feel stupid.
Oh, he is.
I saw really funny when it came to like the autism thing. You're like, some people are really, really good with numbers. Instead, I got the rhythm side of it, so I get beats really good.
Autism. That's my syndrome.
I was like, that makes way more sense, honestly. I was like, maybe there is something with on the spectrum when it comes to recognizing other patterns versus number patterns.
You know what? And that was, my brother recognizes gaming patterns really well. So it's like, I bet everyone is some type of... Everyone's on the spectrum. You just got to find what your niche is, right? Because I think my brother's, if he can
really
figure
hard
out,
when people say you're on the spectrum, because even the spectrum has autism, Down syndrome,
and that's just a fucking thing for people to say nowadays.
Well, you can't put. I mean,
when we were kids, nobody,
to hurt anybody's feelings. Like, you can't, with somebody who has Down syndrome next to, like.
Example, my son, Logan.
Oh, well, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Okay.
Neil deGrasse Tyson would start talking to somebody with Down syndrome and it would go right over their head. And it's just because those concepts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the same time, it's such a subtle difference because my son's got DeGeorge syndrome, which can be in some cases similar to Down syndrome. But I don't think he got barely any of it. Like,
he was Shane Gillis in it.
The doctors said they could tell by his facial structure, lower ears, I think is what it was, and things like that. And then, of course, his heart. He had a heart issue. But other than that, I don't think we're going to be able to tell. And I guess the muscles in his face where he's got his little side smile, his little Nicky.
But at the end of the day, yeah, it's the cognitive abilities. Yeah. Those are the things that you can't hide. You can't, they could look perfect, like you or I.
And then you just not have the cognitive.
Yeah, and it's nothing that it's just not everything got finished wired.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just they're so far and in between.
I was gonna say we know several, and not saying that they're not compassionate, ever loving.
I mean, like Shane Gillis says, they're having the best time all the time.
They're the dogs.
So, yeah.
They just love
and the autistic for the cats. Is that what he said?
What did he say?
Boobs and John Cena. John Cena. You just do this to him. I fucking love Shane Gillis, dude.
Yeah, he really is just crushing it.
Good for him.
Right?
Good for him, especially after SNL tried to drag him. I love that.
Did you see what happened as of late? Lauren Michaels backtracking everything he said, that it was just an overreaction. Should never have fired him in the first place.
Oh,
so
of course.
I just really hope he does not go backwards to SNL. Like,
no, I think he's smarter than that.
You never know, really. I mean, what if the money is just that lucrative?
I wouldn't mind seeing him on SNL.
But
I'd rather know.
I can't imagine that he could be making more money off of SNL than Tires.
Yep, I was just going to say, with Netflix picking up Tires, there ain't no way, dude. He's going to be like, I'm sticking with Netflix. They're going to let me freaking do what I want. Do my skits that we've been building for years.
Plus, he has that platform. So now him and just himself, right? Stars Shane Gillis, and then you have Matt McCusker. You have Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. Boom. And then you have those guys, Gillian Keeves and Beezer and Shaner and all these guys who have another separate crew, all hilarious. He's brought all those guys with him. So,
should make a movie.
Oh, I mean, it's
awesome. A matter of time.
He's brought a lot of guys up with him while he's just been riding a crazy wave from the NFL players that he's met. Joe Rogan, like really great friends with Joe Rogan.
Him and Joe Rogan.
You know, it's so funny from watching Matt and Shane's for so long to them being, when he originally got hit with canceling SNL, to call.
Excuse me.
They were literally
great
like,
dismount.
Help us, St. Rogies. Save us, St. Rogies.
St. Rogies.
And literally, Joe Rogan is like an angel came down and literally saved the day. They never thought it was going to happen that way. Those guys were literally during COVID locked down, and that's when they got huge. And there's still
everyone's
hilarious.
Stuck at home.
You got Lemaire, you got so many other small comedians that are coming up because of it. And a whole brand new wave of kids coming up doing comedian.
That's
comedy.
Cool. That's cool too. Yeah, like that's one cool thing about Kill Tony is you see all these young guys.
Yeah. And the ones that are already kind of rose to fame. It kind of, because I followed other comedians that came off there. Kim Congdon, she, awesome comedian. Sarah Weinshank also is on Kill Tony. They were never like these huge comedians, you know what I mean? But
they got there and then slowly did it. Did you see his new character? Well, I can't believe I can't remember his name. The guy who does Dr. Phil.
Adam Ray?
Yeah, Adam Ray. Did you see his new character?
Who's the new character?
Jeremy. You gotta go. When we're down here, I'm gonna pull up some Jeremy. He's pretty good. I love Adam Ray's little characters.
Yeah, he's been doing characters for a long time.
He would be so fun to see in Grand Theft Auto roleplay, bro. As Jeremy.
That would be. I mean, I have no idea who Jeremy is or what the character is, so I don't get it.
And that's what's up.
Oh, wow. Lean into the lisp.
Yeah.
I gotta watch it because I might love
so
it.
Good.
I might hate it. I can't really.
He's pretending to be a brand new comic who's never done it before, so he's trying to act nervous and stuff. He does pretty good. He's a pretty good actor. Adam Ray. Shout out Adam Ray, dude.
He's
Jeremy.
another one. Like I'm trying to remember where Adam Ray was comedy wise before, because I recognized him, but I couldn't remember what he was like super big for.
Yeah, same thing, man. But it's so hard for me because I wasn't like super heavy into like watching the comedy scene. Like every once in a while, I'd put on a stand up or something, but I wasn't like watching Kill Tony every single day and keeping up with these guys. And but then my feed finally was just like I'd find some really funny people and I'd have to go find the episode and watch their whole thing. So it's like, dude, this is pretty good.
At the end of the day, I
like the rock climbers guy. Fucking love that one. What's the deal with rock climbers? Get down from there.
Oh.
We already invented ladders. I feel like this battle is over. But it's just like the worst joke. Great timing.
I was gonna say that's incredible because it's been that same joke has been reworked so many times. Like the ridiculousness of rock climbing. It's always cool to see a new take on it.
And like I said, it's all about the delivery and his like reactions because he's just like, get down from there.
Yeah, the person almost is a lot of time. I mean,
it's the stage presence, and that's where if I was to go try stand up at the Kava House, that's where I think I would fail. Is my stage presence. And obviously that's something I would, and that's yet again, we always talk about this and never do it, the karaoke. That's why I want to get up and sing karaoke because I think it would help my stage presence.
Even that in itself, I was like, it's just you versus, the crowd, and everybody's usually very, very open when it comes to
karaoke, right? So that's an easy place to break in and get your stage legs
when the room is quiet
and listen,
and then you start sucking.
Well, like even yesterday on the podcast when I tried mine and then fucking Happy hit me with game over. That hurt, dude. This is the last time I try a bit on the podcast, man.
You gotta keep hitting
try it with my brother first.
You gotta keep hammering them out. No. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
If they fail, they fail.
And then you work through it.
Any great comedian.
Work through it. Why did that one fail?
Bring them back. No, you gotta win them back. You gotta fire back with, that sucked. But what about this one?
See, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I would do a little bit better with improv, but then at the same time, maybe not. Because there was a couple moments in GTA roleplay where people would do some fucking wild shit and I would like lose it. I'd break character and like wouldn't know what to say. And
well, you can only take so much at the end of the day. Some people do get flat out ridiculous.
And you're supposed to play along, like, because it was when I was a cop.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like anything. If you're going to role play, you better lean into it and actually enjoy yourself. It's just like in the bedroom. What if you guys are role playing
and you're not into it?
She's like, I just dressed up as a sexy nurse for you. It kind of reminds me, I probably need to go get my prostate checked.
You're just like, I'm a sexy nurse. I fucking hate the hospital.
And at the end of the day, I mean, not trying to deal with not enjoying that whole situation. So if you're gonna role play, do it right.
Yeah, you better be in a goddamn Star Wars outfit. Give me that Leia with chains.
Yeah, that's your jam, huh? The Princess Leia.
No, I just don't know why I went there.
I don't think I've ever looked at Star Wars and been like, actually, I take it back. Who was the chick who what is her, I'm trying to think of her name.
The new chick?
No, she had like the mole. She's a big actress.
I don't know.
Is it Natalie Portman?
Yeah, she was the old. She was queen.
Yeah, Natalie Portman, hottest in every single Star Wars.
That was my original, but then dude, Daisy Ridley, the Rey. Oh.
Can you pull up her picture real quick? Because I have no idea what that was.
When she's not like dressed up as Rey, she looks so good, and she's got an accent. She's like British, so it's just like the accent. And,
is she the new? What is she? Is she the new one?
Daisy Ridley. Yeah, she was the latest Rey, and then
oh wow,
yeah,
that's her now. Though?
Oh, dude, she's so good looking.
Even that's from a couple years ago, isn't it?
Yeah. Daisy, if you ever see this podcast and are still single, hook a brother up. Just a date. That's all I want. You can dress up as Rey too. I'd be okay with that.
That'd be so funny.
Come in the bedroom with some lightsabers, because I'm sure she learned how to actually wield the saber to play in that movie. So
I'm sure you have to.
I just like, you
Bro,
know
you're
what?
gonna creep the viewers out with those noises, though.
I can't help
Tone
it,
it
dude.
back a
Daisy
little
Ridley, dude. That's my. What was your lady you were telling me about the other day that you're just like, I met her and.
Oh, Leilani Wolfgram.
See, now let's let
But
you.
do you hear me making any noises? I didn't make no noise. I
Come
kept
on,
to
tell me
myself.
about her.
I kept
Tell
it
me
professional.
about her. Tell me more about her.
I can't go into it because she's with Mr. Axe.
Oh,
I have
okay.
to respect the relationship.
All right.
Back in my 20s, I would have been a straight dog, but you know, I'm older, I'm wiser.
She's my famous
And
crush
I
for sure.
respect. There she is in all of her glory. She is incredible. She's out in Florida right now, I think, touring. I can't wait for my shirt to show up. I got it.
Ordered it.
Signed.
Nice, that's sweet. You gonna frame it? For picture box or not? Shadow box, excuse me.
I really should do that with it. That would be a great one to hang up and it'd put something in this living room.
You know what I want a shadow box? It's unfortunate because it's
Mike
huge. No, dude, even shadow boxing that guy knocked me out. But
TJ, you just
pulling up Natalie Portman.
Exactly what to pull up.
Natalie Portman as Queen Amidala.
He's gonna buy
a figurine.
The figurine right now.
$15, that's cheap.
What are you gonna do with it though? I mean, you're gonna.
That reminds me of Grant.
Just like my turtle.
That reminds me
Just like my turtle.
reminds
Are
me
you
of
gonna put it on the cam? Can you want to show the cam?
It reminds me of Grandma's Boy. My Laura Croft is a slut.
Yo, pulls her eye.
Hold on.
Ew.
Look at that.
My doll is a whore.
My doll's a whore. Yeah, that's what he says.
All right, get out of here,
What?
Michelangelo.
You're not gonna leave it up there, dude? Is that wait? It is
No,
Michelangelo.
it actually is pretty legit, and it is. 'Tis the season. 'Tis the season. Shout out.
Heck yeah.
That is cool though. At least you're not like, you know what I mean? You get older and you end up finding somebody, and they're like, okay, now it's time to pack away all your things.
All right. That's
Never
one.
to be seen again.
That is one thing. Kind of relating to self-improvement.
Oh, yeah, like the whole idea of like the man cave and being stuffed into one room of your house that you pay all the bills on just so she can be happy.
I will never change myself for anyone else again. Because my ex, I tried to change her. It ended up changing me.
Tell me that's not what we were raised on. Though.
Yeah, I mean,
You sacrifice. You do everything in your power for your family.
Yeah, do everything to make it work is kind of how I was raised.
That's how you did it.
I did everything I could, and in the end, this works better. So
I read a fascinating thing, and it said that like 20 years ago, they were giving girls, what is it called? So they can't get pregnant, birth control. And it was for irregular periods and acne. Now, those same girls, these years later, are not being able to conceive. Fertility rates are down. Depression,
because
hormones are all over the place.
Well, I mean, can you imagine? That's gotta.
Do you think that's what it all stems from? Is the birth control? Because it really is not nature at all.
I dated a girl one time who was getting the shot, and it would literally fuck her up, dude. Like, she would be like fucking sick and hurting. And like, yeah, it was like, what the fuck, dude? Dumb.
But then you're like, and there's some people who really need birth control because it's such a heavy.
Or if they have a complication to where if they did get pregnant, it could risk their life. So they need it 100%. I'm sure that's a thing, you know?
Oh, 100%. I know somebody personally who was exactly that way. That had to know if this was going to be a thing because she needed to stop taking her birth control for like way a long time before trying to, because like the chances of her, there's a good chance the baby doesn't come out right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's with Logan. He's got a 50% chance of passing on his DeGeorge syndrome to his child.
And who knows, like, what the state of the world will be at that point. Where will he want to? That's the big thing that this next generation. And then you're seeing across the board where kids they're not going after the same things that we were raised on. It's like there's a real individuality to all of it.
Well, I mean, that, and I even feel bad for putting my kids into this day and age, dude. I'm like looking at what's going on with our country, and I'm like, fuck, man, my kids are going to be, when they're 14, who knows what this country is going to look like? And they didn't ask to be put into this, you know what I mean? We got lucky enough that our childhood was amazing. The 90s were fantastic.
I wouldn't even say it was like fantastic. It was fantastic comparatively.
I mean, yes, we would have loved to have all the video games that we have today. Like, I keep telling Izzy, I was like, you're going to be a GTA 6 kid, bro. Like, that's pretty dope. GTA 6 is going to be awesome. We were GTA 2 kids that played on it from up above looking down.
I played GTA, the original, on PlayStation.
No, I don't think it was on computer only. The
was
original.
It the original? I remember
probably. I think the second or third was when it finally released on console. Can we look that up, Jamie? What was the first GTA to hit console? It might have been number 2.
You gotta quit calling him Jamie though, because we will get flagged for that one.
Did I say DJ? Did I not say DJ?
No, you called him Jamie.
Yeah, DJ.
Which
DJ.
is also, if you wanted to look into DJ's past, calling him Jamie could be the ultimate insult.
Oh, did he date a girl named Jamie?
I don't want to get into it. That's his story to tell.
Come on. See, I believe Grand Theft Auto was on PC. Grand Theft Auto, I know number 3 was on console. Classic, though.
There was definitely...
Fuck
you.
Okay.
Coming at me sideways all the time, man. I swear.
I was just checking, dude.
After the morning I've had, and now you want to come at me like this?
Yeah, you need to stay on your toes, dude. You're getting too comfortable over there.
It's awesome. Yeah, well, you come at me, you're about to get burned.
Right? Talk about that. I mean, burned a time or two. I'm so gullible, though. I get burned pretty easily.
I mean, that's this whole AI thing is like, you have a video and it's been cut and spliced but you have perfect voiceover over it.
I can't believe I didn't even catch that, bro. As soon as you said it, I was like, holy shit. Yeah, it's the video is clipped. Like they took a 2-minute conversation and narrowed it down to 1 minute, but the conversation is seamless. So it's, as soon as you said that, I was like, damn, I think you're right. Because that is a lot of clipping for no reason. Because he was like, his head was here and then his head was here, but he's still in the same conversation, same lines.
Be said that they did it and they only had 3 seconds to show his face and then they just looped his face every 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But if you're going to mess with an original video, then the second you do so, you open the floodgates for this is fake.
Mm-hmm.
So... at the end of the day, like even when we go live, I think is probably the most legitimate way you're ever going to see us, unless you actually meet us in real life.
Right? Yeah, 100%.
We're not editing. We're not changing anything. I go to talk to my buddy. He gives us a description, put the episode in. Man, we rocking and rolling.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I like
and
being
if it
live.
Sucks. It sucks. If it's good, it's really good.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. That's why. I mean, maybe that's why people listen, so they can hear the stupid shit I gotta say.
Coffee. It's crazy when you go from iced coffee to warm coffee.
Well, yeah, you do it backwards. You're supposed to start with warm in the morning and switch to ice.
I heard opposite. That's why people are taking ice showers and all that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same with coffee. The iced...
Oh, no, like none of this stuff you're supposed to drink until like 11 o'clock and then...
Really?
Yeah, you're not supposed to start your morning with coffee whatsoever. Unless you're drinking it straight black. But then they say you should even wait till 10 o'clock to do that. Drink water until 10 o'clock.
probably a good idea.
Yeah,
I'm usually dehydrated.
At the end of the day, it's really sad on my part because I know all the things that I'm supposed to be doing to be a better person, and
just never really do them. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I try.
Getting burned, dude. Getting burned by yourself.
Ooh, I never even looked at it that way. Burning yourself. I mean, at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's kind.
And it's even worse because they always tell you, you know, you're the one who's got to look yourself in the mirror. And I look myself in the mirror, and I always am like, just, you're trying, bro. I get it. You're trying.
I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, fuck you. What are you doing to me, man?
Yeah, it was like,
up.
We don't look that much worse than yesterday. We're doing all right.
But speaking of getting burned, dude, how did hearing there was a attempted carjacking in your neighborhood?
It was literally right up the block in the most meth-looking camper. Old Uncle Russ, he's been a busy man. He wanted me to go knock some heads with him. I have no idea. The thing moved. There was a carjacking attempted. Apparently, these guys in the camper tried to break in and take some lady's car.
Some girl walked out, tried to distract the driver while the other people tried to get in the car. Yeah, I mean, if you're stranded and you're like, you know, I'm not trying to defend what they did, but like I can see they're like, we're stranded. There's no way to get out of here. We gotta get out of here.
Or you carjack them. It was that can go so bad.
Who knows what their intentions were?
But I remember when I was living in California, right? They used to mark the cars by the door handles, and then so when you would hit it or whatever, they would know, and then they would just follow you. They would, I think that before they would siphon most of the gas out of your car, so then you could go only a certain distance before you would end up running out of gas, and then they would go. I don't know. They'd kidnap you, everything, and jack you in. That was a regular practice in California.
Yeah, especially if someone goes to hit the highway, you follow them on the highway, and then you look like the good Samaritan that pulled over.
Mm-hmm. They were Colombians.
Dang, man.
Yeah, it was, and this was back in, that would have been like 2009, 2010. So who knows? Because like I said,
they've evolved to now, they always evolve.
I've always had a strong belief that, there's, for every Jesus Christ we have out there, I mean, there is somebody on the equal opposite end trying to do just as bad.
That's why AI scares me. Like I said, the people who want to do good with it, that's all great and dandy, but the people who want to do bad with it are the ones that scare me about it.
And I always wonder, like, are we just living this fantasy of good and bad and not just is?
Yeah, it's like that forever. Yin and yang, dude. The yin and yang. It's been around since the Chinese.
Like you said about old Urkel. You only
if you live long enough
to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it from even everyone that was at P. Diddy's parties. You've worked so hard to get famous that you finally made it here, and now you have to do some horrible things to continue along this path.
Also, yeah, because
you know what I mean. Like they spent their whole life.
Everybody who wants to throw him under the bus, why don't you guys take a look in the mirror? You guys facilitated it. This has been going on for 30 years,
and so many people have tried to tell us.
But we always know what lawyers can do.
Yeah,
and the fact that there is we can just settle this out of court. We can just give you some money and make this all go away. Like that doesn't...
Like what Eddie Griffin said about P. Diddy. He's like, every record executive wants his head. He is a dead man. I was like, damn, that's fucking sketchy.
But at the end of the day, he's firing back with his own list. And that list was a long list of people who've all been involved as well. And like,
I saw another post that said, it's all of them. And I was like, yeah, that's more like it.
It really is.
But are you ready? Are you ready though? If you did have to go bust some heads with Uncle Russ, you'd have been ready?
At the end of the day, if he would have asked me to go, I would have gone.
But if it was, I'm pretty sure I know your answer, but if it was you in that situation trying to get carjacked, would you have been ready? Or would you have probably got out of there?
At this point, I would have honestly thought, I would have had to think a little bit about it. I'm sure it would have been in the moment. I'd love to say that I'm a tough
baddest,
guy out
right?
here, but in my own life, I've been put in situations where I thought I would handle it better, and it didn't handle it the way I thought I was going to handle it. So
I am sure that's what would happen with me, but I do keep a gun in my car for that situation. And literally, there was one day I was waiting to buy something off somebody from Marketplace, and they were being really sketchy, and these people were eyeing me down. So I literally looked at the gun and was like, I'm ready. If I have to grab if someone tries to rob me, like, I'll grab this. Like, I don't want to use it, but So I thought the same thing when I heard about that carjacking. I was like, would I be ready? I was like, just grab it and show it to him. Put one in the chamber and show it to him. And if that doesn't deter him away, put one in their foot or their leg.
And that's if you do everything perfectly.
Yeah.
Because there's guys.
And
Look, even happened to Secret Service when there was a shot that went off. The people didn't even react correctly.
Couldn't get her gun holstered. I get it. And they're trained.
And believe me, the same wise man once told me, I mean, you'll find out who somebody is in those moments.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think that would be ready, but I would probably do some silly mistake like not put one in the chamber, and
I know I was stupid enough to chase after somebody who's just shot at me.
Yeah,
so
that was you were a little younger and didn't have a kid.
Yeah,
things change once you're a dad.
Where I stop and think twice, because I'm like,
I'm a dad.
If
now.
I didn't have Nando, I have Nando, and I have so many other people who rely on me, so I can't stoop to that level. And I found myself in situations like this just in the last few years where I'm like, I can go stoop to this level and we can handle it this way, but there's a good chance I'm not seeing the light of day again.
Yeah, and that's not, no kids should grow up without a father.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, those are the people who are going to be with you for the rest of your life. People come and go, but your kids are always going to look at you, and they're always going to be like, what?
Yeah, what happened? Why? They're always going to wonder. Yeah.
Instead of, and on the back end, you were never responsible enough or motivated enough to change for their betterment. Because at the end of the day, it's for their betterment that you're the best version of yourself.
100%.
And these mornings like this where I'm struggling to get out of bed, but you gotta get him to school, you gotta get him all the things, and then to turn around and then just keep going, where I'm on fumes.
Yeah.
But you're find something.
Whatever can keep you going, yeah.
Remember your why. That's always a big thing that gets thrown around all the time nowadays. It's remember why the heck you're doing it in the first place. Because, man, I can't even think of my life before my son.
Weird, yeah. Now that I look back on it, it was a lot of bachelor style living, doing silly stuff, drinking too much, and
speaking on the phone with my little brother and everything, he was trying to get me to not have the relationship that I do with my older brother right now, the animosity, as he would put it. But the relationship that we had when we were growing up, it was 10 times worse than anything we have now. So I'm okay with how it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, sometimes you got to be okay with things just being the way that they are. You can't fix every relationship. You can't fix.
And as long as the relationship is secure enough to where I'm sure if your brother was stranded somewhere and you had the availability and the means and the financial stability to go save him and bring him back to mom and dad's house, you would do it. Right? The love is there.
Exactly. But do I need to drop my whole life to
or just support him when you're having trouble supporting yourself? It's
and I'm sure there's a lot of people I'm sure who go through that exact same thing. How are you? I can't take care of everybody, and I've watched it happen to people. I've seen people tear themselves to nothing in order to take care of other people. I've watched nurses during the COVID. Going blind in one eye because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I look at myself, and when I'm even on now, hearing myself say it out loud, I'm already like, you are such a whiny. Suck it up and just
yeah,
do your job.
It could be worse elsewhere. Other people are having it way worse than we are. That's for sure.
And at the end of the day, I mean, if that's your whole thing, you got to circle back to and over again, do it. But there really is no excuse. It's sad. Like over there on State, you got a whole building that was just circled with homeless people. And
I drive by it every day, dude.
You have to wonder what happened that it just broke and no longer want to try to be inside.
Right?
You no longer want to try to conform into society. You're like, I'm out. They don't
I can't
want
understand
me.
it.
I'm not going back. Give me my tent. Give me my backpack. I'm outside.
I can't. I can't fathom it, dude. I could not imagine, but I'm also lucky enough to be blessed with family and friends that I should never be in that situation. Even if I was homeless, worst case scenario, I'd hitchhike my way over to Seattle and EJ would house me for a couple of weeks or whatever.
But at the end of the day, it's like,
even then I'd feel so bad.
For anybody who believes in you, it would be such a slap in their face to not try.
Yeah.
Because they believe in you. So why the hell can't you believe in yourself?
So how many times have these guys got beaten down that no one believes in them and or they just have nobody to believe in them?
100%.
That's why the one guy that Joe Rogan interviewed that is doing the homeless community, and he actually sold his big old house to move into this homeless community. Like, more power to that guy. Should find his name. He was some reverend or something, but
no, that guy is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's selfless, not like nowadays where everything, like you said, monetize. There's people who are monetizing. They're charitable.
Yeah, that's one thing I could not get behind. It's like, hey, cameraman, hold this while I give this homeless guy some money.
Well,
like,
you see how shady it even got? Because they weren't even giving these guys money. They were just giving them fake money.
Yeah, or like I saw one where it was like some girl did something to some guy or like bought a sandwich from him, and then she reversed the camera and made it look like she was giving him the sandwich or some stupid stuff like that.
And
so yeah,
that is like the level. You're like disgusting.
Yeah. So like now none of these. Who knows if any of these are true?
It really does. I mean, it's just disgusting. It's like do you need that validation so bad you're willing to just lie to?
And you know what? One of the things that I feel best about is I was at a grocery store. This is when I lived in South Dakota. The guy in front of me had just a couple items. It was like $20, and he gets there and he's like, "Oh, I don't have my wallet." And I was like, "Oh," he's like, "I got to go home real quick." And I was like, "Oh, all the way home? It's not even just right in the truck." He's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry." I was like, "No." I was like, "I'll get it." I was like, I paid for it, and he was so pumped and thanked me because he had a little kid with him as well.
No,
and I was
that's
like,
huge. I could have used that literally yesterday. Drove all the way to the shop, didn't have my wallet, had to drive all the way back home, drive all the way back to the shop just for that. If I had somebody else who could have just lent me their ID in that moment, we would have been good to go.
That's what he was even like. He was just like, "Oh, what can I do? Oh, let me get a hold of you." And I was like, "No, just help someone else someday." Yep. And like I said, I didn't pull my phone out and start recording that, but guess what? It's probably one of the things that'll stick with me forever. I was the fucking.
Have you ever done that in a coffee line?
The pay it forward or whatever.
Everybody keeps taking care of the order behind them.
I have been a part of one. Yeah, someone paid for mine, and I got the one behind me. I've done that once. Yeah.
You gotta add like 6 deep. Everybody just kept.
Dang.
You're like the 4th person. Everybody just keeps passing it back, pass it back, and then everybody just kept buying everybody's order.
Dang.
I was like, this is just a cool experience when those things like just naturally happen,
and just it gives you a little bit. Yeah, it gives you a little bit of hope in society. Still, you know what else gives me hope in society? My daughter. She cleans up trash.
Naturally.
Yeah, just like wants to clean up. So she's picking up some trash at the park the other day, and then this little old lady with 2 dogs come by, and she's just walking by. She's like, "Oh yeah, I just walk around and pick up trash." I'm like, "Oh, it's gonna be Izzy in 70 years. She's gonna be walking around picking up trash with her 2 little dogs."
You gotta get her one of those like
One of the things,
trash
and
stabber things.
get her a high res vest and a hard hat
I wonder
too.
what's better. You think one of the stabby sticks or like a T-Rex claw grabber?
I'm gonna do the T-Rex claw grabber because she'll use a stabby stick to stabby her brother. I'm cleaning up trash, Dad. Like, no, that's your brother.
Oh, jeez. He might fit on the end of that, too.
Yeah.
Here's Logan. He's in the trash. He's been in there for a few hours now.
You're being a little trash baby. He is a little stinker. So we do Izzy builds a little sand castle at the sand pit the other day. And my brother was about to say it, but he held back. He was going to be like, yeah, just stomp on it, Logan. But he's like, no, I shouldn't teach him that. And Logan goes, can I stomp on it?
And
Izzy let him. Yeah.
oh,
but
that's cool, though.
yeah.
At least Izzy was about it. At least
But
Billy
my brother
wasn't encouraging it.
He was about to. He was going to. I saw it in his face. He's like, "Why?" He's like, "Ah, no, I should hold back." And then Logan's like, "Can I stomp on it?" My brother's like, "Yes, yes, like, you did it." I was about to tell you to, but then I held back.
Man, he's got to be just loving the uncle life,
Oh yeah,
especially with Logan. I mean, it's probably the closest he's got to his own son at this point.
They are in love with Uncle Billy, dude.
How could you not be?
Yeah,
What's not to love about Uncle Billy?
he's not dad.
I mean, my own
Yeah.
son is in love with Uncle Billy since he was a kid. So, I mean, good people, them
Yeah.
Bear boys.
And he's ready. He's talking about being ready. He's not quite as bad as Travis, and it's not really bad, but talking about Uncle Russ said he was ready, and Travis is one of those that's ready. Billy, I just found an AR in his room the other day. It's like, what the hell is this? He's like, oh yeah, that's Matt's. It had some issues. We were just working on it. Blah blah blah. He's just got guns laying around all over in there.
As in Travis?
No, my brother.
Or your
My brother's
brothers?
got a couple, but
he's just
Travis
staying
is
ready.
Travis is worse.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know. And I'm probably just from being around it in my younger years that when it does hit the fan, yes, it'll be nice to go holler at them boys. But up until then, I don't need to be surrounded by guys who got a bunch of guns because all that stuff does is draw.
Draw bad attention and make people think they're badasses who might not be a badass when they're
And
not
he-
behind
and-
a shell.
I'm not going to sit here and say that boys couldn't hold their own. But when you really go to understand what kind of human beings are out there, you're making yourself a liability by having that thing on you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if there is,
But you're
Ace.
also smart enough. You're not taking yourself in those places.
if there's a civil unrest, though, they know, the ATF know who's got the most guns, right?
no,
So like, if you don't think so?
no, I guarantee you. Well, there's some good old boys. I guarantee you that are armed to the teeth times
Yeah,
10.
yeah.
I know one specifically up in the Heights who's a real good old boy. And if things went down, I'm going to his house because
Load up.
the boy's ready and he knows where to go. I might not survive like living in the same house as him. 'Cause
Zombie apocalypse. What's your go-to plan?
What is my go-to plan? I'm honestly thinking if I go to what is that campground? Bend. What is that? What was that called? What is that one that we went to? DJ
But
Woodbine. I'm going to Woodbine. So beautiful. Plenty of animals up there.
You're getting as far away from civilization as you can, huh?
Not even so much. You're not really away from civilization.
No,
with
it's
that.
not too far.
It's a couple hours, 3 hours to somewhere, but not so far that
I'm going to Costco.
you're gonna live in the Costco.
Heck yeah. Until you can't no more.
There's just too many points of entry into a Costco.
I mean, you get there. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a lot of other people's ideas, so it's going to be a community, and with the community, you might be able to.
You really think that everybody's gonna go? I think that Costco will just lock itself down.
I mean, they're going to be the people, regardless, people are going to get in there, try to get food if they're trying to leave town.
Try to take over that Amazon building.
Right by the, oh.
Yeah, because that Amazon building is I think
same thing,
massive,
same thing though.
It's 100% built with concrete.
Yeah, but how many garage doors? That's a potential point of entry if the zombies somehow break a garage door down.
That's true. But even I wouldn't want to like stay.
Yeah, I think you've got an idea.
Move.
Yeah, but you got to get to Costco at least to get yourself some supplies
Also,
to live. Costco.
If Tony was out there, I'm also calling that good old boy because.
But imagine you go to Costco, get a couple TVs, couple refrigerators.
You might be able to go to Circle, Montana, and might not even know there's a zombie invasion.
Heisham still just living their best life.
Welcome to Terry, Montana, or Circle, Montana.
The first zombie shows
Waco?
up and they just fucking
What about
move
Waco?
into someone's house.
Same thing. You go to Waco, and I'm guarantee you're not even knowing any zombies.
One moves in next door and everyone just thinks he's a nice neighbor. He's a little loud.
I thought we were gonna actually get closer with this whole zombie invasion when they were talking about the flies being able to reanimate bodies.
Mm.
There's something in there. There's a accretion or something. They lay eggs in you, and then it like makes the brain still fire. Zombie fire.
What's it like, the parasite?
Yeah, it's a parasite.
Yeah, and that's what The Last of Us was kind of all based on. That was their theory, and that's why people would get all messed up and like be different styles of zombies and stuff.
But I mean, if you look at it, we've kind of already created that with junkies. We have several different forms of zombies now.
You seen that one video, like the
zombies? We got the crack zombies. We got the heroin zombies.
The video of downtown where they're all just like falling asleep, standing up and stuff like that. Yeah.
It was wild when they would take you through Oregon and some of them places. Just everything's on fire and shopping carts and everybody just.
I did see some weird video that I think it was either in Chicago or maybe Ohio. There was a bunch of people marching with Chinese flags or communist flags.
What?
Yeah. Really weird. I don't know if that was...
Can you look this up one time?
I was trying to watch to see if it looked like AI, and I was trying to watch how the flags reacted, because people holding on to the flags I thought would be a telltale sign of a AI or not, and I couldn't see any issues with the people holding the flags.
Can you look up Chinese Communist March
in
America?
I want to even say I saved it
Chicago?
On TikTok.
Are you sure that they were Chinese flags and they weren't just Chicago Bear
No, I'm
fans?
pretty sure they were communist flags.
They weren't just marching down the street
the
saying
yellow
Bears?
pickaxe, red flag with the yellow pickaxe and the couple
That's
stars.
Russia.
Is that Russia?
Yeah,
I don't know, dude. I don't know my. I don't know stuff.
Protesters with ties to Chinese communists march in support of NYC lawmaker accused of biting NYC cop.
So it's just taken out of context. Someone took...
No, it's just, they're just ties to the communists.
Well, yeah. So and they took it out of context because they made it seem like they were marching, like they're getting ready to take over the freaking city or something.
Communists marching in Philadelphia chanting for class war.
Maybe it was Philadelphia, actually.
Do they really want to go to... That sounds like propaganda. Like we're supposed to go be fighting Chinese people in the streets now. That sounds like a declaration of war from that title.
It's ridiculous. Oh, here, yeah. Philadelphia, another video of a bunch of people freaking rioting in Philadelphia. I don't know if this is old footage.
Oh, they started attacking a police car, huh?
I mean, it could have been old footage.
But that's the sad part. Look at how many actual Asian people do you see there?
Well, this is none of them. But
it's just a riot in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Philadelphia is kind of known for their riots.
And like I said, people are just trying to get everybody up in arms right now. There's another one.
Well, I mean, if everybody kind of keeps getting away from it, but if you look at the 100-year plan of China, I mean, the more we keep doing, we're just leaning into everything that they want for us to do.
Yeah.
So, do you guys yourself a favor, get off the TikTok, Stop letting Chinese influence take over your brains.
China's just like, as long as we just let them dumb themselves down for the next 100 years, we'll be able to invade.
Like when Putin said, no, Joe's good to go. He's fine. Everything he's saying is great. He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
People should have been more worried. Obviously, what Putin literally told a guy who had dementia that he was fine to his face and to the American people. So obviously, Putin
Wanted
will
him there.
lie straight to the American people's faces.
I saw a video of what it said was a Trump ad from back when he first ran, or when he ran against Biden, and it was a Halloween video. Some kids get candy, and then the next person behind them is an adult, and it's Joe Biden or Joe Biden mask, and she takes all the candy, takes the mask off, and it was Kamala Harris, and it says, know who you're voting for. Apparently that was a Trump ad 4 years ago. He was basically calling out that it's been Kamala behind Biden the whole time, that he was just a puppet, essentially. I was like,
It's like those statements have been made for.
Yeah. But it was an interesting ad, that if that was actually Trump's ad. What a G. No words were said. No words were said. It was all...
DJ just made the best point. Like the things that he stood on this last election are no longer standing on. It just seems like everybody is bracing for war on both sides of it. And it seems like... It almost seems
That's
like
scary.
People want it. People want to see the fight.
Well, it's because they've literally, we talk about this all the time, they've been dividing the nation in between black and white, vaxxed and non-vaxxed, this football team or that football team, red or blue on the political scale. They've been dividing us since we were a country, dude. Since they found out that if we fight with each other, we won't see what the fuck they're doing and fight with them. That's literally what it comes down to. They knew if all of us came together as a collective and said, fuck the government, they'd be fucked.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like we have, what, a third of the population of China.
So if they really wanted to, they could do something.
Well, no, at the end of the day, it's like we need to be smart enough to be like, they have 3 times as many people of us. If they do choose to go about that route, they will come in groves, 3-1. You all ready for that? You guys want to act like you guys want this fight? You guys ready to attack 3 people?
We probably outnumber our government 3-1 though. The American people.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, everybody is, like I said, ready for this war, but nobody is ready for the fallout.
Speaking of which, I did see something. I want DJ to check this. Hey DJ, look up if Canada is in fact everyone stopped paying their mortgages. There is a rumor that I saw in a video that everyone in Canada is collectively coming together to stop paying their mortgages because of all the crazy shit that's happening. And I was like, that would be pretty impressive. But I know the Canadians did that when the trucker shit was going on too. A lot of Canadians banded together and protested the semis and shit. So they might, I mean, like I said, it's probably fake. It's probably just a stupid video, stupid rumor. But if that's the case, that's what we need to be doing.
So we have Ontario. That's one. What do they have? They have not countries. What do they have?
Providences.
Isn't that what it is, DJ? Provinces?
Province.
So the province of Ontario. And so far they are choosing not to pay their house bills.
That is correct.
I said that it just said Ontario though, but you have
still that's one province.
Well, you have Ontario, Toronto, like those are like countries within Canada.
Or essentially, it's like our states. But even then, dude, if you can get a whole state,
like different than that. It's like countries more so because they have French Canadians.
But it's essentially like our states. They're governed like our states. The beginning.
By 2026, when $400 billion worth of mortgages are set to renew, increase in monthly payments could be as high as 48%.
48% for your fucking home mortgage? That's
Canada.
That's nuts. I don't know what it was previously, but
Wait, go back to the beginning. With 60% of Canadian mortgages set to come up for renewal within the next 3 years, homeowners are facing a payment shock unless interest rates come down in a significant way, according to the Royal Bank of Canada. Go down to that next part there where's it? There we go. By 2026, when 400 billion worth of mortgages are set to renew, a figure that includes a large population of so-called negatively, what is that word? Amortized loans, the increase in monthly payments could be as high as 48% on a weighted average basis. Capital markets analyst Darko, whatever, said in a report October. So then now we trust everything that dude says?
I mean, like I said, we can never trust everything, but it sounds like the state of Ontario or the province of Ontario is coming together as a collective community to stop paying their bills, and that will, I bet you, force those companies to lower their interest rates. If Billy Carson once said it, even if 50% of Americans stopped going to the grocery store and stopped putting money into the market, the CEOs and billionaires would freak out if 50% of people stopped putting money into the market for 2 months. If everyone could get enough food and supplies and live off their own for 2 months, and we could literally just shut the market down for 2 months, all the elites would freak if the money stopped flowing in.
You'd have to find those elites, because there's a lot of private real estate agents that are just mom and pop guys who are honestly they're not doing anything malicious. They're not trying to hurt nobody.
I know.
You have the major rental companies. Even somebody like Rainbow Properties and Billings is dinky.
Oh yeah.
You need to go after
the big guys.
Obviously, the guys who own
Walmart,
complexes,
Albertsons, stuff like that.
Like,
or if you're talking about mortgage stuff, if you're talking about mortgages,
that's the biggest thing. Is like they have everybody by the balls. Like when it comes to, and if you're going to fall into the thing that everybody's trying to get to become renters, you will become homeless before too long, because all they have to do is continue to raise rent prices, and then you get evicted. So keep buying into it if you guys want to, but a smart individual will see the writing on the wall.
It definitely
take precautions.
They definitely got me convinced to rent, because after I owned a house, I was like, I fucking hate taking care of a house. I gotta mow the lawn. I gotta fucking do maintenance. I gotta pay for everything that fucking breaks. And
at the end of the day, but that people I think look at it wrong. It's not like I have to.
It's like you get
the opportunity to actually have something of your own, because you're significantly putting yourself at a place that somebody else can dictate everything about you. And you're in a renting situation. The landlord could get just at the end of the day.
But you know what they do to get the houses? They just keep raising property taxes until you can't afford your house anymore, even if you've completely paid off the home loan.
Unless you can take a step further and become your own bank.
Or, you know what else?
Trust, or bury
someone in the backyard. Yeah, you saw that one too?
You
saw that one too? Yeah.
My God.
Hey, man, when I died, put me in the backyard. You get a tax.
I was even thinking about having you guys kill me and bury me back here. You know, we got a fourplex.
You get no taxes. You don't have to pay taxes on the property anymore. It becomes technically a graveyard. And then what else? Well, there was one other benefit I thought from doing that.
I don't know, but if you wrap it in a trust, you can have it become like Elvis's property.
And
they can never sell it.
Never touch it, never sell it. Yep.
And that in itself is, as long as it's in litigation, tie it up with the lawyers.
Oh yeah.
But that is America in a nutshell, though.
Saw another stupid rumor, stupid theory that there's a video of the airship. You know, we were talking about airships, the one that blew up in like the 30s, 1930 something. There's a video of it like sitting there, and it looks like downtown New York today behind it. I'm pretty sure it was probably all doctored and fake, but he's sitting there, he's like, look at this. New York's been built like that since the 1900s, blah, blah. They're lying to us. New York's been that big forever. And then I was thinking, if you were trying to tell a false narrative of how the city was built, Trump Tower, Trump owns a big portion of all of those. there you go. Be like, here, we're just going to give half of these buildings to Mr. Trump here, and he's going to tell everybody that he built them over the course of 5 years when actually we just found them.
Well,
Huge what if. I just like running
I
with
did
them.
look
I just
at
like running
how
with my what
much
ifs.
of the mafia was involved in New York and all around there when it comes to those buildings. How many of those construction guys were like really, really construction guys, and or they were just taking the money?
Or were those guys...
Because the unions in the early, like the 20s, and like during the rise of kind of communism, like unions were like, if they saw you, like the guys were unioning, I mean, they would stamp them out. They would, we got to break this up, because it really is like the first chance of getting away from
that mafia style,
like authoritarian. Like, we own you. You show up. I'm giving you your $3. You put in your 15 hours and you go home. I don't need no if and buts or anything. I don't want to hear you cry. I don't want to hear you whine. Nothing. Do your fucking job.
And now it's like, my union says you need to pay me $15 an hour, and I need 2 15-minute breaks every 3 hours,
But
and
if
a
you
1
look
hour
at
lunch break.
Places that never had a union, like, they did really take advantage of those people on
Just
the
some
very,
good
very
old
bottom.
boys.
I look at guys like the UPS was a really good example of a business that didn't have a union before. The drivers, I guess, were always getting taken care of, but the package handlers and everybody else, they were getting the shaft, getting paid next to nothing.
Dude, it's crazy about UPS. When I worked at my like truck dealership, the semi-truck dealership, they are contracted. So whoever owns a local UPS is contracted through UPS, and UPS can cancel them if they miss out on like it's like a couple deliveries a week or something. They can cancel your contract.
That makes sense.
So we would get, or maybe it was FedEx. It was FedEx, yeah. So we would get these FedEx trucks in, and it would be like, we need to put other shit aside and get this FedEx truck in, because if this guy misses his route, he's going to lose his FedEx license. And so I was like, and then EJ worked for FedEx, and he's like, it sucks, man. These trucks are always fucking breaking down and shit. And I was like, I know why. Because if you miss out on 2 routes a week, they can fire you as a FedEx.
I wonder if he's still working for him. What's the other one we have in town?
UPS, and then there's
it's over there.
The yellow. It's got the yellow trucks.
It's down there by like Paint All and everything over on like on 4th Avenue, like you're headed up to the Heights. Anyways, but the Expo.
Yo, yep, XPO. Yep.
But they have triple trailers. And I have a buddy in Great Falls. I haven't talked to him in years, but he would haul those all the time.
Damn.
And man, I can't even imagine what that's like, hauling 3 trailers.
Yeah, dude. Fuck that.
Your time as a semi-professional truck drive simulator.
You know what?
Did you ever get involved in triple trailer?
I did a double. You know how they start you off, your first run on American Truck Simulator is a double trailer. It's like, what the fuck? Trying to back one of those up is near impossible.
No.
Dude. On a video game.
Yeah. Well, plus, if you've never, ever done it before. Because even, like, triples, you never back them up. You only pull through them.
Unhook, yep.
You're always going forward. Doubles, once in a while.
Worst case scenario, you pull forward, unhook the first, unhook them all, and then take them individually if they need to be backed in somewhere. Yeah, you're not going to back up a triple. No. I've seen people back up a double, though.
Which is, I mean, it is impressive. Like, it can be done. It definitely can be done.
I was impressed with myself. The one time I did do VR headset with my steering wheel, I was able to put my truck's trailer right where it needed to be first try. Nice. Didn't have to pull forward and come backwards. And I was like, wow, that's actually pretty impressive.
Little victories.
Yeah.
Because I mean, as one who, at the glass shop, I was in charge of the semis, like getting it backed into the shop and everything. Tapped the building once, and I think I scraped maybe a little bit of the side of it once on the trailer. But overall, I got pretty good at backing in semis and driving a semi around the block. It was hard for me to get out of second into third, but that was...
I got to drive a fire truck.
You've driven a fire truck?
Yeah, same job. Yep, they brought it in for like maintenance.
You didn't even get a cool...
No.
fireman's hat or nothing.
No, they
Not a sticker,
yeah,
not
they
a
brought it
damn
in for
thing.
maintenance and didn't park it where it was supposed to. They parked it kind of like out in the front parking lot instead of over by the trucks that needed worked on. So I get in it, I'm like, I gotta figure out how to fucking start this thing. Just buttons everywhere. And I figured it out, and none of them have keys.
Yeah, are they push start?
Yeah, they're all push
Yeah.
start, and you don't need anything. I think it's just like flip a switch and hit the start
Yeah.
button. And they're like, yeah, we can't have keys. What if we're fucking gotta go to a fire? We lose the keys.
Yep.
was
There's
like,
a reason that they're locked up inside.
Yeah.
The firehouse.
But yeah, that was cool. I got to drive a fire truck just from one parking lot to the other. So it
But
was,
I'm sure it's
100
just
feet.
like driving a bus, huh?
oh yeah,
It's all front end.
yeah. Because yeah, it's a cab over, so your engine and cab are over the front set of wheels. So it's a little, when you're turning, you're like, ooh.
Yeah, and you're like looking, where's my ass?
Yeah.
At? Why is my? You ever seen? I can't remember what movie that is, but he's having a high speed chase with some fire trucks, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hold on," and he hits a U-turn, and he fucking drives off, and he's like, "Stupid fire trucks can't do U-turns," and they're fucking like trying to back up,
Doing the good old freaking Austin Powers
8-point
turn. Yeah. Oh man.
So I was looking into here, and because we are getting down to the
Yeah,
wire
we're
here
almost
pretty
there.
soon, but I do want to cover the Salem witch trials that
And-
you were kind of getting into, because I didn't.
Yeah,
quite-
that was just a random one. We could have even been skipped it, but it started because
I mean, 'tis the season.
It was-
though. 'Tis
yeah.
the season.
and it started with the voodoo. It really started with thinking about voodoo. I was watching a video where the guys were talking in the voodoo culture. You have to tell people what you're doing to be able to go and do those rituals. So he was basically saying, like, look at all your movies, look at your famous concerts that they're doing these demonic type rituals in front of everyone's face as a way of telling you what they are doing, because they have to first tell people and then they can go do their thing. So I was like, that's pretty interesting that this guy is kind of breaking down the voodoo religion. And that's what he worded it as a religion. And I was like, that's really interesting that people consider it a voodoo to be a religion.
And I mean, those practices have been around for
Yeah, and
a long time.
and we know they do those rituals because that guy that chases snakes in the Florida Everglades has wandered upon a couple of them.
Talk about ever wondering, like, 'cause I had an ex who 100% mess with voodoo dolls, make them, have them. Sometimes I wonder.
See, and I have one of our buddies from our Grand Theft Auto days, Craffington. I'll say that instead of his real name. That's his gaming name. He is definitely kind of has a religious belief towards. It's not voodoo, but it
Sangria?
sounds like voodoo when he explains it
Is
to
it like
me.
Joey Diaz? Sangria?
No, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like he's got a different view, a religious view, and it's more similar to voodoo than any type of religion I've seen before. And it's just,
I mean, Santeria. Sorry, I kept saying Sangria.
Sangria. That's why you
No.
throwing me off. I was like,
Santeria.
I've never heard of
Yeah,
Santeria,
you should
so
look at
maybe
Santeria, because that's Joey Diaz, his family. But it's I mean, it's the same thing. You're chopping chickens' throats and everything.
yeah, sacrificing something and
there's-
pentagrams and things like that.
But
Yeah.
there's a
But then-
Santeria, anyways. There's a whole like levels to it, things, rituals that you have
Yeah.
to do. And
I mean, it's the same thing with Freemasons. You could probably consider their rituals to be somewhat voodoo or demonic. But then it made me start thinking of the Salem witch trials, and I heard a really interesting story is that they found, I think, ergot, maybe the same thing.
ergot as in wormwood,
No.
as in
Ergot was a fungus that was getting the grease tripped out. And I'm probably wrong with this, but essentially they were thinking that the Salem witch trials could have been contributed to hallucinations, that their wheat got infested or fungal
Yes.
mold, and then they were eating bread that was giving them
Just tripping
hallucinations. So you fucking come outside, you see your neighbor fucking, hitting her rug, she's trying to just dust out her rug, and you're like, she's casting spells on me, fucking, and all these people, like, that's they contribute that could have been all hallucinations from the bread that they were eating.
Which, I mean, it definitely, it's not.
Yeah, it could have.
But also, I mean, you've been around a lot of people on psychedelics. Like, there's always like the one guy who's a crazy off the walls out there. But not everybody usually is.
Yeah, and it depends on what if everyone's having a bad trip? Like you had way too much.
But that's
the whole town is having a bad trip.
Naturally, it's just a bad trip to even begin with.
Or if it's just so much that you got put into a really bad trip state. But I just like thinking about that.
It would.
She's like, I was making chicken noodle soup. Of course I had to put a chicken in my cauldron. I'm like,
if we could just rationalize it down to something that simple.
But at the same time, I mean, that goes back to voodoo. There probably were people practicing the voodoo religion back in the days. And I bet you it was taboo to do that, right?
Well, voodoo in itself, you're
it's
talking
taboo,
with spirit. You're doing things that are definitely not.
And you know what?
And if you are, I grew up obviously Catholic Christian. You're not supposed to be doing that stuff. Like
Sam and Colby when they do put the names on a list, burn it, put the water. That sounds like a voodoo fucking ritual to me.
It all depends on what side you want to tiptoe. That's why it's like you welcome those things in. Well, you fuck around and find out and see why people are like, hey, it's Pandora's box. Leave it shut. You really want to open it? There's no closing it.
But we also are a country that was found on freedom of religion. So that's what people who moved here expected, that they could practice voodoo safely.
And these are all based off of because they were still like trying to go old England. They were still trying to be just like them,
which is what we weren't trying to be.
But then I was like, at the end of the day, what do you want? Do you want your country to be one nation under God, or do you want it one nation under Shiva and Buddha and Jesus
the devil and aliens? Because that's a religion.
Aliens is a religion?
I mean, yeah, it could be. If you believe that, like, say, for instance, you believe the Anunnaki, like you firmly believe the Anunnaki were the ones who come down, that could be, you could religiously think that we were formed from aliens.
The guy who wrote those books, the one from Scientology. L. Ron Hubbard? I mean, that was all.
I know. What was the guy's name?
DJ. I needed that little.
The guy's name who did the tablets of Thoth, who I can't remember his name, but the one who deciphered the tablets of Thoth.
Trismegistus?
No, Billy Carson calls him out all the time, but that he's the same thing. It's just like he's got that same kind of thing. It's just like everyone's got to believe him because he's the one doing it.
Yeah. And that's the problem, though. There were just so many people deciding that.
Who knows? Who knows?
And when you just... that's another one. Because, we've kind of just accepted it now. But that whole idea of just being like, I'm a god. No, I'm a god.
We are gods.
And I'm like, man, I just seen you steal a candy bar from Albertsons.
You ain't no god.
I just seen you, you know what I mean? It's like... At least do a little look in the mirror first before you
tell someone I'm a god. Yeah,
because if whatever version of your god is, do you want your god to be
a thief?
A thief?
Nope.
Vengeful?
Definitely not vengeful. Well, that's another thing, dude. If we go back, this will be another podcast, but the Christian religion used to go around murdering people because they didn't believe in Christianity.
I was gonna say Muslims did the same thing. Continue to do so. There's another one, like a wise man once said, there's been more people killed in the name of religion
than the name of war, for sure. Dang, I mean, that's a good way to wrap up the day.
That is. Get out there, think about it.
Show love, not love.
Be a better person. Try to help everybody out.
Improve on yourself, and if everyone does that, it'll be a good world.
Sooner or later. Take a trip to Fiji. And before we get out of here,
I'm not gonna
We
do it yet.
gotta, don't forget, like it, subscribe, share. What's that hashtag?
Hashtag MWTBPOD.
We got that Discord community. Check it out. Look for us on Spotify, Facebook. Get that set up. Bare
Heck yeah.
necessities. Check out the merch.
Now you're shamelessly plugging my merch. I'll take it. We're
There
gonna
we
do.
go.
I think we might even do a B&G shirt giveaway
I
here
was gonna
someday.
say,
I don't know
yeah.
how we're gonna do that. We got to figure out how. We'll give one away somewhere.
It's in the works. It's said it. It's been manifested. And until then.
Much love. Bye.